What is going on, investors? Hopefully, you guys are doing well out there. And today I'm going to do something that I rarely ever do. I've got a very exciting micro cap company that I want to tell you about. Now, I know what some of you guys are going to say. Some of you guys say, oh, this guy must be getting paid to pump micro cap stocks now. I want to be 100% clear with you right off the bat. No one told me to make this video. No one from the company I'm going to be talking about today is paying me to tell you anything about this company. I have zero affiliation, no affiliation with this stock. In fact, it'd be a heck of a lot better and better for me if I didn't tell anyone about this opportunity and I saved it for either myself, more importantly, my paid subscribers. Okay. But I'm here to tell you about a stock today because the man that just took over this company changed my life forever. In fact, if it wasn't for the CEO that I'm going to be telling you about today, I wouldn't be sitting in the house that I'm in right now, and I probably wouldn't have pursued a career in finance. As crazy as it might sound, I might not even have a family right now if it wasn't for this man. That is how instrumental he's been in my life. And I've been patiently waiting and hoping for him to make his next move. And the good news is for everyone, that day has come. And I'm certain this will be one of the best micro cap stocks you can buy over the next few years. And I don't say that lightly. Okay. In fact, I rarely say it at all. And I want to tell you all about it today. So let me explain. So we've got a flashback about 15 years ago when I was just out of college and I had opened and then very shortly after that closed a collectible clothing store that I was running with my brother. Okay, it was just a small business. I was pretty much flat broke, but I didn't have kids. I wasn't married, so it was no big deal. But I did have a plan. I had a plan how I was going to turn my financial future around. I had some inventory left over from the shop. I was going to sell that on eBay just to kind of keep the lights on and the bills on. And over the last couple of years, while I was working in the shop, there was a computer in there and I was teaching myself how to code computers. And so in the free time, I was working on websites and starting to build up that skill, if you will. And I was ready. Now I was kind of ready to make that my career. And so my brother and I were living at the time. He actually had to go take a job that was working him like 60 hours a week. And he would come home completely exhausted and say, Colin, I just want to sit around and make money. And I'll have him on the channel maybe one day. He'll tell this exact same story, almost word for word. Okay. But I told my brother at the time not to worry. We were going to set up websites. We were going to earn money from advertising and affiliate marketing and those types of things. And we were going to take that money and invest it in the stock market. And the stock market just at that time happened to be absolutely tanking and crashing due to the great financial crisis. Again, this was about 15 years ago. Everyone I talked to thought I was absolutely insane and nuts. My family, my friends, my dad, everybody thought I was crazy. But I knew this plan of making money from websites and investing in the stock market was going to work. I was convinced. Luckily, though, the websites I was working on started to make money pretty quick. Soon enough, we had money to kind of pay our bills, and we started investing in the stock market pretty heavily. My brother even was able to kind of quit his job, and he has never taken a job since then. And he still to this day earns a living from the websites that we set up 15 years ago. And look, here's the exciting thing. One of the companies that we invested in early on was a little known transportation company called Express One. My thesis at the time was the economy was complete crap in 2008 and 2009, but the recovery was going to start with the transport industry, okay? Kind of the trucking industry, if you will. Express One was really just a broker, okay, or a middleman. They were connecting truck drivers with customers who needed goods shipped back and forth. The company was really well run financially. It meant it could survive kind of the downturn. And if it needed capital, the plummeting interest rates that you had during that time, the company could borrow and survive. So I thought it was kind of a safe, kind of a speculative play, if you will. But this is where everything changed, not only for Express One, but for me financially. A man named Brad Jacobs announced he was investing $150 million and taking over as chairman and CEO of Express One, which he later renamed XPO. Turns out Brad Jacobs, I didn't know this at the time, but as I researched it, Brad Jacobs had a remarkable track record of building multi-billion-dollar companies one after another. In 1989, he founded United Waste Systems. 8 years later, he sold that business to Waste Management. Yeah, the Waste Management for $2.5 billion. The same year he sold that company, he didn't skip a beat. He founded United Rentals. I'm sure most of you have heard of United Rentals. Some of you might even use them. That company is now the largest tool rental company in the world, and it's worth over $30 billion. That Brad Jacobs was now going to implement that roll-up strategy that he used in those multi-billion-dollar ventures, and he was going to turn XPO into one of the largest freight companies in the world. Nobody knew about Express One or XPO at the time, and then Brad Jacobs came in, invested $150 million in 2011, and from a direct quote from him, he said, "I plan to build a multi-billion-dollar transportation brokerage business over the next several years." And that's exactly what happened. Today, XPO is worth over $10 billion, and early investors like me cashed in huge. I sold my shares of XPO, which grew from just a penny stock to over $20 per share when I sold in 2016. And I used that money to buy the house that I'm sitting in right now. And without that money and without this house, I am not sure I would have been financially secure enough to start a family when I did. So I have Brad Jacobs to thank. I have two wonderful children and a wife. I have him to thank for that. And so look, while XPO stock, it's now over $80, so it's 4 times higher than when I sold. I don't regret selling when I did. After all, home values have skyrocketed too. Maybe not quite that much, but hey, I'm glad with my decision. And since then, I've always wondered, is Brad Jacobs going to do it again? Would he move on from XPO and start a new venture? Well, luckily for you and me and pretty much any other investor out there, he's done that. In fact, I follow him on LinkedIn, and his post announcing his newest venture was simply, "I'm back." Like Michael Jordan coming out of retirement or Tiger Woods making another miraculous recovery, Brad Jacobs is back. And his strategy of taking over tiny, little known companies and then using leverage to roll up other smaller companies is going to play out over the next few years. Just like United Waste, just like United Rentals and XPO, Brad Jacobs is back, and he's going to do it again. Now, I know you're likely wanting to know what the ticker symbol is, and I'm going to tell you. But I just want to remind you, before I get to that, I just want to remind you this is a speculative investment. The company literally has no business model. It has no revenue, no profits, it has nothing. It's what we call a blank check company. Brad Jacobs basically bought the smallest, cheapest company he could find. He's going to sell all the assets from that business, and then he's going to use his own money, his own reputation, and experience to raise even more money. He's then going to go and find an industry. I'm sure he already has the industry in mind, but he's going to go buy small companies in a specific sector and do what's called a roll-up strategy, and he's going to roll it up into a much larger business. Just go look at United Rentals, go look at XPO, the same strategy. He's going to do it again. And look, here's the deal. Just like with XPO, there's going to be a lot of volatility, and he's going to dilute shareholders. There might even be like a reverse split to raise capital and award equity to in-company executives and employees. The shares are going to be volatile. I think that goes without saying, but this is a micro-cap company. Don't go all in, as the kids like to say. Now, in fact, the day Brad Jacobs announced he was going to buy the company, shares skyrocketed 300% because Mr. Jacobs' reputation at this point is really well known. I'm not the only one that knows about him, okay? The next day, though, shares were down over 21% as reality started to kind of set in that the company has no business model and they got a lot of work to do. Look, I would, like, if I'm in this stock, I would personally very slowly accumulate a position, but a position that is small compared to blue chip and retirement stocks that you might own, different funds, Apple, Microsoft, those stocks. This should be a small investment for you. But at the end of the day, Brad Jacobs has proven himself time and time again, and I believe he's going to do it again. Okay, so now for the big reveal. All I need from you is 3 installments of $4.90. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You could just search Brad Jacobs' name in Google and find the company. So the company I'm talking about is Silver Sun Technologies. The ticker symbol is SSNT. SSNT. Now remember, the business model, the company name, and probably the freaking ticker symbol, all of that is probably going to change. Okay, nothing is going to stay the same. Brad's going to come in there and work his magic. He's also going to use leverage and dilution to build this business. I can't guarantee he's going to be successful again. And look, any inexperienced CEO, I wouldn't trust them with this strategy. Okay. You can screw up a roll up strategy really easy, but Brad Jacobs is proven on Wall Street, and this has a really good chance to be his next multi-billion-dollar company. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's crazy that like all these years later, I'm still following what Brad Jacobs is doing. And when I saw his latest move, I knew I had to bring it to you. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to kind of keep you updated on his progress, this company's progress as we go forward. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.